Okay, we have one last question, and you've addressed this substantially during the broadcast today, but I wanted to ask it because it's very relevant in light of the events that have happened over the weekend at the United Nations, for example, with the veto by Russia and China on the resolution against Syria. This is a question, again from Moscow, from a gentleman who identifies himself as a strategic analyst and a writer. He says, what would be the consequences of the fall of the Assad regime? Will it mean a breakup of Syria and a civil war, or a radical Islamist government there? What will be the impact of such events on the rest of the Middle East, on Iran, and on Russia and China? How high is the possibility of broader warfare with the involvement of Turkey and Iran?
Well, the war is coming from someplace. It's not coming from Syria. The Syrian government has nothing to do with this war as such. The war is coming from the British Empire, and it's coming from the United States as a pawn of the British Empire, a disgusting pawn of the British Empire. This was all set up as an operation which started with Libya, and you had a senator of the United States who made an illegal decision, a criminal decision, actually, from the standpoint of law, in putting through that law which set forth the Libyan war, the United States' role in the Libyan war. That was a crime, a treasonous crime of ambition or cowardice, something of that sort. We got into the thing. Obama got himself impeachable again and again and again. The guy belongs in prison for life. Maybe that's best put him. What he did, it was virtual treason. What they did to Muammar al-Gaddafi was murder. Here's a guy, he's captured. He's bleeding. He's been shot. He's captured. And they order him killed. And the orders were formed in France and Britain. The orders were, we do not want this guy alive, because if he's kept alive as a captive, there's going to be a big discussion, debate throughout the world about what his crimes are. Then you won't be rid of him. You won't have had the stroke of terror that you want to strike in order to strike it into the Middle East. So by eliminating Obama in that way in the Middle East, you strike terror in the whole region, because you want to use that region for the attack which is going to set off World War III. Now, many people, I think, in the military understood something about this, the senior people. At least some of them did. But they don't talk about those things publicly. I do. My job. And they had the right answer on this thing. They said, stall it off, delay it, delay it, delay it. This cannot happen. They all know that's the end of civilization if that war ever starts. And they wonder how much they're going to go to the bat to stop that. But a real soldier will probably go all the way to perform the mission. So that's what the situation is. We are in a position where Russia and China are preparing for thermonuclear warfare. That's what I know is there. That's what they know is there. And only if we prevent the United States under Obama from being induced to have a surprise attack, which is conditioned by using the Israeli funk there. He's an idiot, an absolute idiot. But he's a British pawn. He's nothing but a British pawn. They use him to get Israel to drop something on Iran, which will start the whole chain reaction. And they wanted the chain reaction in Syria and chain reaction in Iran to go together. Now, the purpose of the war is to start the war. Now that goes inherently to a strategic conflict with Russia and other countries, and China. We now have an alliance of Russia and China, and implicitly support from other countries, which are not going to submit to extinction, because they know the name of the game is to destroy the Asian countries. That's the purpose. So that Russia and China and other countries have no choice. The intention on the British side with support from the Obama administration, is the extinction of the nations of Russia and China and other countries. They have no other choice. So the question is, why do we have to have the war? We don't have to have the war. We have to get rid of Obama. Put him into some cage someplace where he's safe. Because we don't want another assassination to spoil the whole problem. But we're at that point. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at my fellow citizens, and especially leading members of government, as in the main, a bunch of pussy cowards. They just haven't got the guts to put themselves on the line for the purpose of serving their nation.